So, welcome back to Favorite Friday. For the fifth day of murder, we are going over to United Kingdom. This case is pretty much kind of well known. This case happened, I think, literally like last year, and they've already been sentenced, so they've already been through like trial and all that. And so this case, you probably already heard it before, if not briefly, but I'm going to give like at least what I can find publicly. So if there's like any more input that you have that probably wasn't publicly available, definitely always welcome down below. Sources down below, as always. So with that being said, I'm going to quit my rambling and we're going to go get started. So we technically have two female killers for this episode instead of just the one, and they're a pair of mother and daughter. So for obvious reasons, I'm going to start with the mother first, since she technically was born first. And so we don't have a date of birth or even a birthday on her, but she apparently was like 44 at the time this happens. And so her name is Arnseen. And so Arnseen, apparently, she was born in Pakistan, and she had dreams of becoming a flight attendant, but her parents had like forbid it because I guess they want a more traditional life for her. So then they have an arranged marriage for her, and she winds up marrying this man named Ali Raza, who from all reports sounds like a pretty good dude. But of course, again, that's not the life she wanted. She didn't want the traditional life. She wanted to go out and live her life, as people do. And so then she winds up having a daughter in 1999 named Makek, who goes by Maya. So I guess I'm going to call her Maya for the rest of this video for like, just to make it easier on me. So then Maya eventually gets into university, but she eventually drops out to pursue a career in TikTok. And apparently she starts growing her community on Instagram and TikTok. And apparently she had like 40,000 followers at one point, I assume on TikTok. And then she started adding her mom into the videos. And I guess people loved it so much that she actually went from 40,000 to over 300,000. So her videos blew up just from adding her mom in. So of course, Arnseen at this point, she's still married to Ali, which is obviously that's Maya's dad. And she wound up starting an affair with this guy named Saqib Hussein, who apparently was like 18. Apparently they met on this random app where two people could like randomly match with each other. So it looked like Omegle, but they met like briefly. And then apparently he messaged her later. He messaged either Maya or Arnseen directly on Instagram and had like remembered like her face and was like, so that basically he made the first move. So then they start an affair. And of course they eventually do meet in person. They do the deed and they meet multiple times in person. And so from the end of 2019 all the way up until January 2022, they're sneaking around. And apparently Arnseen decides she's going to cut it off around January 2022. And so of course Arnseen ending the affair. Saqib basically is threatening to tell her husband, Ali, everything, including showing like pictures and videos of them when they were intimate. This videos apparently were taken without her knowledge, but basically it was to like prove that, yeah, I am fooling around with your wife. And obviously that would ruin her reputation because like you ever commit adultery and shit. So then she, obviously Arnseen and Maya are like pretty close, so she's going to tell her daughter like pretty much everything. But other sources are saying they believe that Maya pretty much already knew about the affair. But again, it's, who knows. And so Maya basically says that she had a mechanic friend that she can go to, and she can get a car from him to borrow to meet up with him. Because apparently Saqib said, okay, if we're going to end this affair, I want all the money back that I spent on you. And I guess Saqib was keeping track of how much money he spent on Arnseen during this 3-year affair. Because allegedly it came out to about 3,000 pounds. Because it's the United Kingdom, so it's pounds, right? And you would think it'd be more, because apparently he was showering her with like expensive gifts. So like, I thought it would have been more, but I guess I want to say he was just being easy on her. And so the mechanic has some other friends, apparently named Ray Jamal. Ray has a cousin named Amir, and apparently there's some other friends, like 3 other friends named. They don't really get talked about. Their main focus is on Maya, Arnseen, and Saqib. Basically in the media, they don't really talk about the others that much. And so Saqib and Arnseen agreed to meet in the parking lot of a Tesco in the early morning hours of February 11th, 2022. So like I said, this happened last year. And apparently Saqib couldn't drive, so he had his cousin Muhammad drive. And apparently Muhammad was like an innocent party in this. He didn't know, like, I don't think he even knew of the affair. As far as he know, he was just helping a cousin out, because again, Saqib couldn't drive. So of course we get to February 11th, 2022. Of course there's like all these people that are involved in like trying to silence Saqib, so that way the details of the affair don't come out. And so obviously there's gonna be 2 cars, because you can't fit like, I think there was like 9 people in one car, because we're talking like a regular car. And so Arnseen, Maya, and a friend were in one car, right? And then all the other dudes, they were supposed to like jump Saqib, and apparently to the point to where he wasn't supposed to know what day it was, which that's a quote from Maya, by the way. They were hiding at a spot where they could see him, but Saqib basically wasn't supposed to see them. But apparently, I guess Saqib was smart enough. He realized this is a setup. This is kind of shady, so I'm a dip. Unfortunately, they realized that, I guess they caught on that he caught on it was a setup. So they're chasing after him. So pretty much confirmed his suspicions that I was being set up. So Muhammad's driving. Saqib is in the front passenger seat. And then apparently Arnseen is the one who's apparently trying to run them off the road, while Maya is basically in the front passenger seat of their car. So of course they call 999, because like I said, United Kingdom, so obviously it's not 911 over there. And they basically tell them, look, somebody's trying to kill me, somebody's trying to run me off the road. And apparently this 911 call was never released to the public, but he is telling them like basically like details that they probably need to know, which came in helpful later, so glad he did that. Unfortunately, they are successfully run off, whatever the word is. They are successfully run off the road, but their car is taken off the road successfully, and it's believed that they died immediately, like on impact, and then their car would later light on fire. So obviously, Muhammad and Saqib are both now deceased, with Muhammad being completely innocent, because again, he had probably no idea what the hell was even going on. And so the car was split into two, and apparently the engine detached. And of course, like I said, with the ring of fire, obviously the bodies are going to be pretty badly burnt, from what I imagine, and they were literally only identified through dinner records. So that's how you know it's bad. So then Makek and the group, so it still sounds like both cars, they stop somewhere, check for damages on their car. So after they check the damages on their car, make sure like nothing like major, like no major damages done to the car, they proceed to do what I would like to assume is a U-turn, go back to where Muhammad's car had wrecked at, to see if like they were still alive, if they had done the job. So of course by this point, they see the car on fire. Obviously, both parties are deceased at this point. So they're like, okay, job well done. And then they flee the scene. So apparently, I guess like more 999 calls were made regarding this this car on fire, because you know that's not something that you see every day. And there being bodies in the car, they're also going to call the police for that. And so luckily they traced Saqib's call to the wreck. Luckily, and apparently Saqib, during this 911 call, he actually gave one of the suspect's license plates. So I like to assume like the car that Arnseen and Maya were in, that's the one, because again they were technically closer, and they were the ones trying to run him off. So maybe he just happened to see their license plate and decided they were trying to kill me, so I'm gonna take them down for something. And apparently the license plate matched a car that was registered to Maya. So they go over to Maya and Arnseen's house, because apparently she's living with Arnseen at this time, and of course they're both arrested for murder. Maya does apparently give the police her phone, but apparently she gave them the wrong code, and I guess like she had like this I don't even know what to call it. She had this thing where apparently if you put in the wrong code, it resets the phone. Now, I don't know if that's like if you did it enough times or you just did it the one time and just reset. And I guess that was like to delete evidence. But of course, I guess she had an iPhone or whatever. So then they were able to like retrace messages. Even though her phone had reset, and obviously that would delete all your information, she was able to, they were able to get information from like her phone cloud, her account cloud, whatever you call it. So then Arnseen, because apparently I guess the phone was in her son's name. So her son that she has, which isn't named, he originally got arrested, but he was quickly proven innocent. So he's obviously not in jail because he had nothing to do with this, at least that we know of. And then the GPS there was a GPS in the Audi that they were driving. And apparently that GPS tracker showed that there were records of high speed around the time the crash would happen. So that pretty much shows that they were guilty. So then, of course, defense, when they go to trial, and defense will try to say that Saqib had tried to kill himself by crashing the car because he was depressed that he couldn't be with Arnseen anymore. And they were trying to say he did threaten to kill himself in the past. So even though Muhammad, from sources say, apparently Muhammad was driving, but Muhammad apparently had weed in his system. So defense was like, okay, well, he had weed in his system, so it affected how he was driving. So it's Muhammad's fault. It's not murder. Basically, I guess defense is trying anything they could to get off. So, of course, Maya and Serena get sentenced, and Maya gets sentenced to life with possible parole after 31 years and 8 months, and then Arnseen gets life with possible parole after 26 years. And then apparently there was this dude, not the victim Muhammad, but apparently there was a whole separate Muhammad that was involved in, like, the crash that night. And apparently he testified that he had no idea that a murder was going to happen. He genuinely thought like somebody was going to get jumped. And so, of course, apparently, I guess there was no evidence tying that he knew somebody was going to die that night. And since he did testify for the court, which, usually gives you a lighter sentence, this Muhammad dude got immunity. So I assume he's obviously out. And then the other 5 people, they got varying sentences, but they're all, I think the lightest sentence I saw was 13 years. And this happened last year, so they're all still in jail. So yeah, that is the case of a TikTok star who became a murderer and is now serving the rest of her youthful years in prison. So with that being said, I'll see you guys. That being said, everything you see on the internet definitely is not gold. So with that being said, be careful what you're doing. Don't be out here cheating on your partner. And with that being said, I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid when